What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. If you click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the damn link. Don't forget to like this video because it helps the video move. Now, with that being said, I'm here with a special guest, Senor Del Boy from Movie Mash.
How you doing? Hello, everyone. I noticed you have that routine down now. Do you know what I mean? That just flows out like, you don't even think about it. Boom. You know what I mean?
Right?
That's humble. Seriously. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I've said it long enough to the point where I hope that shit comes out like fluidly. But don't forget, you guys, it's Movie Mash, Mr. Del Boy. Don't forget to go to the description above, click the link, go to his channel because my man is very informative on everything that is cinema just as much as me. So make sure you guys subscribe to his channel and support the whole cinematic universe that we over here creating. So with the holiday seasons around the corner, Christmas is literally tomorrow. Christmas is probably a couple of hours away for you because Del Boy is in London. So he got the holiday feast in the oven ready to go. And what more important to talk about than Christmas movies? But today we're going to talk about a different kind of Christmas movie. We're going to talk about Christmas horror movies, right? So me and you had a conversation recently, and we were talking about like different Christmas horror movies. And everybody, Del Boy has not seen many. I gave him a short list, and like on that short list, the only thing that he saw was Krampus. And so he's been binge watching freaking Christmas horror movies for the past couple of hours.
Yeah, since yesterday.
Like the last 24 hours, this man has watched at least 4 to 5 freaking Christmas movies. And I watched Violent Night last night, but I wouldn't consider that horror. That's action to me.
Yeah,
I consider it more action because I was going to
gore in it. It's gore, but it's not really action. Yeah,
it's action because I mean it's just like it's like Expendables. Like you wouldn't consider Expendables like a horror.
Yeah.
So but that's a conversation for another day. So I got a very unique way to start this off. Out of all the Christmas horror movies that you've seen so far, which one was your favorite, including Krampus?
All right. So I haven't seen Krampus for a couple of years, but the ones that you got me to watch was Black Christmas. Was it Bloody Christmas? Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Jack Frost.
Yeah, exactly. You said what?
Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Wait, no, not that one. No. Not that one.
All right. So
which is funny because that movie came out a year after this Jack Frost.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, probably my favorite of them lot. All
right. So let's start off with that. All right. So since you barely saw this for the first time, what was your initial thoughts on that movie?
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say is I couldn't work out, were they trying to make a comedy, or was it purposely like dumb on purpose, or was it accidental? Because I was trying to work out, no, there's got to be, because look, Jack Frost was deliberately stupid.
Yeah.
Fine. But this one was just stupid, but I was waiting for someone to nod at the camera to let me know this is fucking stupid on purpose. And I don't think it is, which made it even funnier. Like I give you an example. One of the craziest shit that happened, right? So there's a crazy Santa Claus killing everyone, right? And it's on the CB radio. The police is driving. Yeah, there's some crazy Santa. He sees a Santa Claus over by a school and just drives up and starts shooting him in the back. He shot him 6 times dead in the back, right? He's lying there dead. I was like, oh, you're going to have to explain that shit now. No, he was left in charge of the whole school. That same police officer, And I'm like, what?
Oh, man.
But as I said, like, punish. What was it he was saying? Punish. Yeah, I was
punish.
Now,
naughty.
There was no clear final girl apart from one of the nuns. Yeah. He was kind of like the antagonist, protagonist, star, and final girl, kind of all together. All right. It was just so funny. Yeah, I was expecting this to be really annoying. Yeah, it wasn't. Right. So you've got the first half an hour was like a completely different movie.
Oh, when he was a kid?
Yeah. So
but you know what though? That part to me
was really
like that
good.
whole that trauma situation that really got me. Like the whole
Yeah,
thing
it
with
was
the
really
grandfather
good.
in the insane asylum and stuff.
Yeah.
That
I
really
mean,
got like to me. I was like, okay, like this is setting up for something serious, and then it
yeah.
gets kind of like dorky at the end.
But see, even after the Santa Claus killed his mum and his dad, it showed him in this orphanage.
Yeah,
Orphanage,
with a
right?
mean
And then,
mullet too, by the way.
yeah, but you know, like the main nun or sister or the matron or whatever you call
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
right? She was like real hardcore on him, like, and one of the nuns was like, "No, look, he's had it rough. His parents and Santa Claus." She was like, "No, he's got to sit on Santa's knee and shit." And I was
I
like,
ain't trying
"What?"
to hear that shit. I ain't trying to hear that.
Then I was then he sees some people like having sex, some kids having sex through a like he was
A
looking through the door,
peephole.
and it adds up, right? So she punished him for looking at that. She punished the people who were having sex, and he saw this as punishment and Santa Claus and all that. So a psychological build up in that first half an hour and being beaten by this nun
And
for
also
what
what his grandfather told him, Santa Claus
that
punishes
was
bad.
random. That was just random as well,
Yeah,
right? Because he was
he
there.
was comatose, and all of a sudden he
Yeah,
woke up just be
yeah.
like,
He
"Hey,
just come
Santa
up there.
Claus punishes you."
Yeah, I mean that was just random. Like why is he doing that? What the hell, you know? But all right, as I said, and then he jumps into a teenager. I mean, everyone knows the story. Whoever's seen it,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have to explain. But then he's a grown ass man, and then some creepy, like not creepy, scary, but like he had some little girl on his knee, and he was like, "Have you been good?" And I was like, "Oh God, this."
Oh yeah, that scene was funny
Dude.
though.
And I was like, "Oh shit, this." I don't think they meant how it comes across.
I want to ask you a question real quick. The girl that he killed that he broke into the house? Did did the version that you have show him put her on the antlers, or
I
did it
saw
cut?
it. No, I saw it.
Okay, cool. So you saw the extended version tight
Yeah.
because
Oh right.
originally that part was cut out. Like I don't know if you noticed it, but like depending on what version you saw, some scenes looked a lot more grainier than others.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah, so that's
There was
because
a bit when there was going down. These two bullies were in a
the sled.
like. I mean, what two bullies are hanging around in a dark forest at night with snow and then taking kids' sleighs? All right, but and then all of a sudden it looked grainy. It was like shot. The whole camera looked
Yeah,
different.
that's because
Yeah.
those were like deleted scenes that they like re-put back in the movie, but I don't think they transferred them. So that's why it looks like that. I wish
mean,
they would have
I only
transferred it,
noticed
would
a
have
little
been better.
bit, but it didn't take me out of the film. The only bit I noticed was that bit I was saying about the
No,
bullies.
I'm just letting you know that the reason why it was grainy is because those were the extended, like those were the deleted scenes that
Right.
were put back into the movie. They did the same thing for My Bloody Valentine. They
Okay.
they reinserted it. But but overall you had fun with the movie,
I
right?
had a lot of fun with it. Like, just I won't go on about it too much, but like, do you know when he killed that girl and then the boyfriend come into the room? The girl he killed on the antlers.
Yeah, the
Her
antlers.
boyfriend come into the room, pushed him over, got the like. All right, he pushed him over, gets the phone and puts his back to him. I'm like, oh, trope. Like, obviously he's gonna get up. Then they're
Yeah.
fighting on the floor, and then he's on the floor and he's standing, he's just lying there. And I'm like, mate, a minute ago you were fighting him, and now you're just sitting there looking at him. I was like, this is just so much. It's so stupid. It's got they I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, and I hope it wasn't on purpose because it made it that much funnier. But I'm interested in watching. I don't even know there was a 2, 3, and 4.
Speaking of this movie, I just got this.
All right. Is that it? Yeah. That's a good cover. Oh, all of them. Right. The
Well,
five.
it has 3, 4, and 5. And I have 1 and 2 because they were from Shout Factory.
I got a Christmas present for your viewers.
Oh, what is it?
It's kind of like info for people. I struggled to find Silent Night, Deadly Night because like we don't have what you have. I've got Amazon, Netflix, and it wasn't even to rent. Found it in full 1080p for free on YouTube, same as Jack Frost. Full
Okay.
full 1080p.
That's
Like
crazy.
it wasn't grainy, wasn't so just for anyone who wants to watch it after watching this review and want to have a good laugh, it's there 1080p. It's on YouTube. Just type it in, you get there.
Now I know you haven't seen a sequel, but I wouldn't recommend watching a sequel.
I got a feeling you're right.
And the reason why is because the sequel's about his little brother, right? The second one is about his little brother, and half of the movie is retelling the first movie. Like it's full flashbacks, like half of the movie. So imagine watching an hour and 30 minutes and like 40 to 50 minutes is dedicated to just like flashbacks
Right.
from the first
So
movie.
I did that the other night. So I know we spoke about it before, and this ain't horror. I mean, it ain't Christmas, but I watched the other night The Hills of Eyes, the first,
Yeah.
the original. Then I watched the second one, right? And the second one was flashback.
Oh my
And
god, the second one was boring, right?
oh, you seen the second one?
I've watched some of the second one. I had to turn it
Right.
off. It was
This is
boring.
when I went crazy, right? So every person was having a flashback, and it would show the full scene of what happened.
That's what was happening. That's
when-
Silent Night Deadly Night too.
Then it zoomed in on the dog, and the dog had a flashback. The dog had a flashback.
Oh
a
my
whole
God.
scene of what the dog did in the first one. I was like, what? They're only about 20 minutes of the actual film. They were just showing you the better version, the better movie. Go
And it's
watch
funny
that.
because I know on Facebook somebody told you that the first two were good, and I was like, I was
First
like,
one's not bad.
no, I'm talking about the first, the
Oh,
first two
sorry.
Silent Night Deadly Night. So somebody
Yeah.
said part two. I'm like, so part two ain't that good. They just it's
They accidentally caught lightning in a bottle because it just felt like it was accidentally fun.
the
Because if you
second
look
one
at
is just
horror
super
movies,
fucking
it's
tropey. Like the second one is just bad, and then it has like the famous garbage day, that infamous line. But fun fact, I actually met both of them. They're really cool. They're really cool. We were just at the Midsummer Screen. I met the brother from the second part, and I met the dude Billy from the first one. Billy actually signed my vinyl, but it's somewhere in the bag, and I don't feel like looking for it. But yeah, he signed my vinyl. He was really nice. He was cool as hell, and the brother was there too. And then also, this next person was there, Jack Frost. So the dude that played Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman, was there. So this is the perfect segue into the next film, right?
Right.
This is the first time watching Jack Frost, the Killer
Yes,
Snowman,
it was
right?
the first time, yeah.
Now look, when I first seen this movie, which was a long freaking time ago, there's two ways I used to find out about these movies. One, the video store, which I seen it. I remember that 3D cover being in a video
I
store,
remember
but it
that.
changes when you look at it.
Yeah.
And then two, all the kids in my school always was talking about these culty ass like horror movies, like always, like the Ice Cream Man and things like that. We always talk about these super culty horror movies. And I remember somebody said Jack Frost. I'm like, there's no damn killer Jack Frost movie. And then it wasn't until like way later down the line where I actually seen the Jack Frost movie. Now, way later down the line, I actually saw the sequel to Jack Frost. I didn't see the first version. It wasn't until like maybe like 5 years ago where I actually saw the first version, right? Now,
Yeah.
just letting you guys know that this is not a serious movie. It is a super campy B movie. I mean, bad acting. The snow looks super fake. It's like it's bad all around. And this is supposed to be like winter in California, and you could tell it's hot as shit outside. So like, yeah, like it's really bad when you pay attention to the aesthetics. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a fun movie. Like it's fun and it's stupid and it's silly, but you can't take it seriously. Would you agree with that?
No,
Go ahead.
I found it a chore to watch it.
It was
Yeah.
a chore.
Yeah, all right. So let me tell you just so how it starts off. For the first, after watching it,
Let me break it down.
10 after 10 minutes, I had to check another copy of this because I thought there was something wrong with the copy I was watching on YouTube. Yeah. So everything is super close up for the first 10 minutes, right? It was so close up that I thought, you know what, there's something wrong with this copy. Maybe someone has somehow kind of zoomed in this and uploaded it on YouTube to try and get away with copyright or something, if you get what I mean. So I checked another copy and I watched the same parts. No, it's super. So that really straight away, I didn't like that. Now that's also, there's some, I don't know it was California or anything like that, but there's some kind of cinematography was terrible. They looked like there was some real great, nice looking landscapes when they found an old man and his head was pushed back over a chair.
Yeah.
It just all close up on the. Oh, I mean, like I could see trees, and I'm like, I bet that looks really nice. I mean, maybe you didn't, and there's a reason why that. But I was like, it's just close up. I felt like I was just too close to the screen all the time. Now I don't like close ups anyway, but the thing is that when they're merited, fine. That's just that. All right. Second of all, I know this is supposed to be stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a B. It's like a Z type.
Found irritatingly stupid. You know, like I felt like I was watching a kids' film with some violence in it. You know, I was like, I just couldn't.
He raped the lady with a carrot.
Yeah,
a kids movie.
What's her name? That was the girl from American Pie.
Yeah. She's in that movie. Yeah. Isn't it funny when you see people, you're like, oh, I know you from a famous movie. You're in this super B movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if she's like an A-lister now anyway. But
I know. But it's just funny, like a familiar face. You see her in like the super B. It's like, what's her face in Leprechaun, you know?
Jennifer
Aniston.
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. But as I say, like, no, but look, the bottom line to this was it looked terrible, and it's like, all right, look, guys, we know this is shit, so we're gonna just try and make it a comedy so we can get away with doing shit. And even the kills, they weren't that gory. Yeah, they weren't. I mean, this mentally you think they are, but they're not. And I was just like, I just was getting irritated. I know they were trying to let's go with the comedy route, but I felt like I was watching a Nickelodeon kids show with that. And even Jack Frost, like it didn't like they put no effort into it, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that design could have looked a little bit more like, you know.
Yeah, they could have tried a bit more with his snow thing, because like even the creases you could see when he was moving. And I understand that the budget is low, but they could have tried. I've seen more films with less budget and do better try. I just felt like now the character, the guy who played Jack Frost, I recognized him from another film.
Isn't he in Star Trek
Fire
or something?
in the Sky, which I've seen. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I met him, he had these Star Trek prints, and I was like, I don't watch Star Trek, so I wouldn't know.
I mean, when I say he was like he appeared in it a couple of times. Not like he's not a main character.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
But anyway, regardless of that, he was actually right. I mean, he was too much, but in a good way. He was all right at the beginning, and it was just like they were just making it up as they go. Right, he can melt now, and he can turn into ice, and he can't. And then like an hour in, and I was like, oh shit, there's still a half an hour left. When he was getting in the car and there was water coming through the car and he was trying to get out with his kid, I was looking at the time going, oh my God, there's another half an hour. I just felt like it was annoying. But look, it's all subjective. Everyone likes their own shit.
It's not a good movie.
I felt like
it's not a good movie, but it's like this is like that campy ass. This is that 90s campy B movies. There's a freaking bunch of them. Pinocchio's Revenge.
I feel like they could have tried harder.
Yeah, I know they could have.
Like they could have.
Oh, definitely.
And they could have made it a bit better.
But that's the night, bro. I don't know. The 90s had these super B movies, man. Like I'm telling you. You said what?
Close-ups, man. Oh my God! It was like
Pinocchio's Revenge, Rumpelstiltskin. There's like so many of them, and like all of them are like bad. Like even The Dentist. The Dentist is another one. That one's bad too. But The Dentist I actually really like though. That's a dope ass movie. But anyway,
well, I won't be watching the sequel.
Oh, of course not. No, the sequel's even worse. The sequel's even worse.
I know, but you know, as bad as you said Silent Night, Deadly Night is, I would tempt to watch it because I like the first one.
Well, see, but there's okay. The thing I can give this movie credit for is it doesn't take itself serious. All right, like it doesn't. It lets it off top. Yeah. Though, like this is like a fucking horror comedy. No.
But that was also the problem. Is that look, we're gonna just do something stupid because we haven't the budget to do anything serious. So let's just be stupid. And I'm like, there's a line between funny and irritating, and I found it irritating. That's all. Sorry.
Well, if you would have found this movie irritating, the next movie I'm briefly going to discuss would have also irritated you. Now I know you haven't seen this movie. And based off of your response from Jack Frost, I have no clue if you're even going to want to watch this movie. But I just want to briefly discuss The Mean One since we're talking about Christmas horror movies. Now, The Mean One is starring David Howard. Huh? You said what?
You know, I still want to see that. I still want to watch that.
I'm not going to talk in detail about it. I'm just going to say that David Howard Thornton couldn't save this movie. But I will say that I want to know the budget of this movie, but this movie has made over $500,000. So I'm pretty sure that whatever was put into the budget, they've already made multiple than that. And it keeps getting extended at movie theaters. So people must be going to go see it. And then also David Howard Thornton is doing I don't know, it's an American thing. And then David Howard Thornton is also doing a Q&A in New York, I guess, in order to promote the movie. Like I said, although I like the idea, the concept, that was yet another movie that could have been a lot better. Like Jack Frost, it's a pretty interesting idea, like what they did. It was executed a lot better than it would have been, like probably like a super cult classic, like popular horror movie, but it just wasn't done well. So The Mean One is going to end up falling into that same category, and I won't talk about it too much because I know you haven't seen it. But the next movie I want to watch it. The next movie I want to discuss is let's jump back to the past again. Is Black Christmas. Now, the reason I want to talk about Black Christmas is because Black Christmas is actually considered one of the first slasher movies, and it also predates Halloween. And a lot of people feel like they got the idea from Halloween from Black Christmas in a way, because it's a holiday themed slasher movie. So this was your first time watching a movie. I think personally, out of all the movies I told you to watch, I think that Black Christmas is probably the best one. But I feel like you have an opposite opinion. So go ahead.
No, in some ways it is. Some ways it is. It's just I had fun with the other one. I was laughing my head off, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that shit from. But with Black Christmas, right? First of all, it was great to see Margaret Kidder in it. You're like, who? Lois Lane from Superman.
Oh, okay.
Olivia Hussey was the main. I think she was the final girl. You're like, who's Olivia Hussey? Well, she was on It, the 90s version, and she played Psycho's mum in part 4.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, so she was the final girl. And John Saxon. Now, John Saxon, the cop, Nancy's dad, who played a cop.
Okay.
Thing. So, but he's actually quite a cool guy.
Oh, so there's a lot of like horror royalty in there a little bit.
Well, he's mostly famous for I think he was a heartthrob in the 60s, but he was also on Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee sort of thing, and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. But he seems to play a cop a lot. He was even in Dusk Till Dawn briefly as a cop. But anyway, getting back, I'm going off. Right. I didn't know what to expect from this. I know it's supposed to be a Christmas classic. I don't know why I've never watched it. I just don't think of it when it's time. First of all, I found that it was definitely felt like it was a Halloween movie, even though it's 4 years before the first Halloween. That was 78. But I felt like, there was definitely a Halloween feel to it. Some of the imagery was really good. Now, there was pacing issues, but it's a product of its time, if you get what I mean. There was no clear final girl, even though I kind of knew who it was, because it was like, but she wasn't in it half the time. And then she had some drama about being pregnant and all that. I was like,
yeah.
Like 70s, But anyway, but what I will say is, right, the phone calls.
Yeah,
man, that was quite like,
that's creepy, right?
I thought it was funny at first, but then I'm like, it's like, then I started thinking, no, that's he's all screeching and it sounds like there's someone else there, maybe he's killing and all that, and he was calling him, like, I don't want to say it, like pig cunts and all that shit, and I was like, he's like, then when he does kill people, he's kind of erratic and nuts, and you don't ever see him, but you see like this at the POV shot.
Yeah, they never show him. They just show this like part right here.
Yeah, a DI, but you sometimes you see his version of how he's seeing when he's looking downstairs or when he's killing, and he's like that crazy, and I'm like, this guy is nuts, and whatever's going on in this guy's head, it's all over the place. Yeah. Now, this guy's in the house. I suppose the 70s they didn't know, but I felt like he was a really good villain, and it did in some ways feel like Michael Myers without the screeching.
You know what else it reminded me of? When a Stranger Calls.
Well, yeah, I was going to say because he's in the house sort of thing.
Yeah.
This was before that, though, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, I'm not sure.
I think this is before that. So, good idea. I couldn't work out the whole everyone's looking for this girl, but yet she's upstairs in the attic. But then I suppose they don't be checking the attic and all that. But as I say, like the imagery was good. The kills were okay. So a lot of them were off camera.
Yeah, and those are dark movies too in certain scenes.
The characters, the girls on it, even though they didn't have much story to their own backstory, all the kind of, especially Margot Kidder, who's Lois Lane from Superman, she was kind of a bitchy, drinking and all that shit, that kind of thing. They all kind of were somewhat memorable in a sense where, like, she wasn't just stock. To be killed.
She wasn't just like somebody.
And when she died, it was kind of, I don't know if it was off camera because you could see her hand kind of doing that, and I'm like, well, we're not seeing it. But look, bottom line is that I haven't seen the remake or any of those two. And
it's crazy because this movie spawned 2 remakes.
I heard it's really bad.
Well, which one?
Both. I hope both are really bad. No.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know about the 2000s one, but I know for a fact the recent one is bad, and it's changed completely. I think it changed completely. I want to watch it just for like analysis purposes because but I haven't got around to watching it. Like I want to watch it only because I know it's going to be bad, and I just want to be like, yo, this is.
I will say this film is definitely a kind of ahead of its time.
It's one of the best. Look, that's hands down one of the best Christmas horror movies ever.
Yeah, no, it was good. The imagery in that girl with the thing around her, the bag around her head.
Yeah. And the rocket.
It would show her, and it would cut through, and then you would see people outside, like getting into cars, and she's just up at that window. I was like,
somebody got stabbed with a unicorn, right?
Well, I think the girl. I was saying Lois Lane.
Okay.
But you don't really see it. You just see her hand kind of getting covered in blood, and you get the idea he's doing that. But and then he killed some old woman with like a hook and a kind of thing flying across. I don't know, but as I said, like it was good. Pacing issues. Pacing. The only problem I had was pacing, but I did understand it's a product of its time. Do you know what I mean? And apart from that, like it is a really good horror movie in general. But the Christmas thing was a nice little touch. All the acting was pretty decent too, and it had those little few actors that I do like, as I said, from John Saxon, Nightmare on Elm Street, Lois Lane. You know how much I love Superman. So when I saw her and him, and I was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is good. And then obviously Olivia Hussey, who I think is hot. Hussey, I think her name is, but it was great to see them. It was really good. I just the pacing issues and that side story about her being pregnant and the boyfriend, and I know that anyway, it was good.
Black Christmas to me is like one of the best Christmas horror movies, and it's funny that you mentioned remakes because I forgot to mention this earlier. Now, Silent Night, Deadly Night also had a remake, and it was called Silent Night, right? And this movie was, I wanted to just touch on it briefly. This movie is actually kind of fun to watch. It's bad as in acting wise and things like that, but it's fun to watch because there's some pretty cool kills in there. It's about this dude dressed in a Santa Claus outfit going around punishing people and shit. Same concept, right? But the difference about the concept is this dude, and this is based on a real story. Like this piece right here is taken from a real story. There was this guy who found out that his wife was cheating on Christmas Day. So what he did was he took like some sort of incendiary device, like something that caused like a huge fire, and he took it to his wife's job and he killed everybody, right? Because like, you know, she cheated on him or whatever. So this movie took that idea and they had him take a flamethrower to work and burn everybody or whatever. And they said that he got away. And since then, he's just been like crazy and like kind of like wandering around punishing people on Christmas Day. Now, this movie has some brutal ass kills in it, and then one involving a wood chipper. And it's to me, it's actually a pretty fun movie. Like it was actually really fun to watch. It's not a great remake, but it was fun to watch. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up too is because the next movie, Christmas Bloody Christmas, was originally supposed to be intended to be a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. But what ended up happening was they couldn't get the green light or the approval, so they ended up just kind of like twisting it and becoming its own thing. So kind of like that's why it's called Christmas Bloody Christmas. It's kind of a play on the Silent Night, Deadly Night thing. But
I can see I could see it.
Yeah, it was originally, that's what it was intended to be originally. It was supposed to be a remake to Silent Night, Deadly Night, but then they turned it into its own thing. Now, another thing I want to point out before we start discussing Christmas Bloody Christmas is that there's this like teenage horror show called Creeped Out or something. And on that show, there was an episode about a crazy demonic animatronic Santa going around killing people. And I was like watching it with, I was watching it one day and I was like, damn, that would be a good idea for like a horror movie if they would just like, you know, just go all in. And then what happens? That's what we ended up getting. So I watched this movie not too long ago. You just watched it for the first time. I felt like the beginning of the movie dragged like a mofo. But then once it picked up, I felt like it picked up and it really felt like Terminator in a way. How did you feel about Christmas Bloody Christmas?
All right. First of all, I know what you mean by it dragged at the start, but what I will say is, now I haven't looked up who directed it and all that, but I do feel like the dialogue and the chemistry between some
authentic.
of them,
it felt authentic.
It did. It felt like, because when I'm out with my mates, when we be talking shit like that and all stuff like that, and I was like, it kind of felt real. The only time the acting got stupid is when those two cops came in towards the end. Yeah, and like they were just stupid. But I'm just saying.
I also didn't like the lead actress. I wasn't too fond of her. Like I didn't care if she.
I didn't mind her. I just thought with her and the guy who fancied her and the other two mates. Now, what I will say is though, the whole film is covered in neon lights from start to end, and I was getting a bit fatigued with that a little bit. I wouldn't mind just a bit of normal lighting for a little while. I'll go back to it if you want. The whole film, and it was nice. It looked good, like this here. But I'm just saying, it was after a while, I was like, oh my god, I need to adjust. Now, I get what you're saying. I really do think that I would like to have a better reason for the Santa Claus to have done that. You know,
other than it was being recalled.
Yeah, if he kind of if they knocked him or banged him or hit him or like, and his brain all of a sudden, because he was just like the most advanced. He just
was like, I'm about to fuck shit up.
It's the most advanced thing ever. Now, going towards the end when you see him kind of all beat up, looking like Terminator and stuff like that. Yeah. Look pretty decent.
I like that look. I like the raggedy look.
Makes me wonder then, why did they, when earlier on when he was just walking like normal man dressed up, why didn't they kind of give him more of a kind of a robotic humanoid type look? You know, because he looked like just a man in a Santa Claus, in a bad Santa Claus outfit, and it was
because he was supposed to, because they were originally intended to replace like all the people dressed in Santa Claus suits. So it was supposed to look real and authentic.
No, I do, but I just thought maybe just give him something that made him look robotic, because he looked silly. He nearly looked.
It was because it literally was a guy in a Santa Claus suit.
That's what I mean. I just thought you could have given him something just to make him look that much different. But apart from that, I thought the kills were pretty decent. I thought the acting was pretty decent. It actually wasn't a bad movie. I was expecting I don't know what I was expecting. I just thought
it wasn't like the pacing. Bad. Look, once they stopped talking and that shit picked up, it picked up. Like
yeah.
You know, Yeah, and I mentioned it too in my review. I was like, although like the dialogue and all that shit felt like it went on a little too long and
And I didn't mind it.
No, but I said like it felt real. Like it felt like real dialogue.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that they should have focused on it that long? Not really, but I do feel like that was like some authentic banter between friends.
Definitely.
Yeah, but like I said, when it picked up, it was fun. It was super fun to watch. I would definitely watch a sequel to this, but maybe like it has to be under the right circumstances. But what the hell was that robot made out of? They ran it over, they hit it like.
I want to know how much one of those cost, because like that was just in a normal store.
Yeah, because that was like
Antimanium, Technico, iPhone shop or nothing. It was just in a random shop, and it just went.
It was in a toy store.
Yeah, and I was like, how much was one of those anyway? How much is selling that shit for? You know?
Yeah, that must have been a lot.
I really think that it could have been a bit better if they gave that Santa Claus more of a reason to have lost his plot,
and that's what I'm talking about. They could have cut a little bit of the banter out at the beginning, inputted a reason,
a bit more. Yeah, that would be good.
At least, you know,
but
at least Chucky tried to give a reason why the doll went crazy.
Yeah, it's just random Santa Claus going crazy, and that was it. Even if someone nudged him and banged his head off something, that would have been something. But no, just there. But apart from that, I had a good time with it. The only problem I had was with Jack Frost. The rest, all pretty good.
But check this out, though. Before we move on to this last movie, I recently watched a movie called Christmas Evil, right? And honestly, it really felt like there's a bunch of freaking horror Christmas movies. Santa's Sleigh, Better Watch Out, something till Christmas or whatever. But anyway, I haven't watched them all yet. They're on the to-do list eventually. But the thing I wanted to do was Christmas Evil. I wanted to just talk about it briefly. Now, this movie had potential, I want to say, but oh my God, dude, like this kid basically goes crazy because he goes downstairs and he sees mom getting ready to have sex with Santa Claus. And he's like, what the hell, you know? So his whole childhood is ruined. And he's thinking that Santa Claus came down his house, shimmied down his chimney just to like bang his mom. That's the impression that he has growing up. Like this is what he thinks. So he ends up being like Billy from like Silent Night, Deadly Night. He wants to go punish people and shit. He's like a toy maker, and he's running around town like killing people and shit. What for? He's killing people that are like assholes. And I ain't gonna lie, some of the people that he kills, they really deserve it because they're annoying as shit. But and it's weird because this movie, like as you're watching it, you feel like it's blending the realistic elements of what's happening with the demented thought process he has, because especially when you get to the end of the movie, you're gonna be like, what the hell did I just watch? Like, what just happened here? But anyway, I just wanted to shout that movie out briefly. It was a fun watch, but it can be kind of like tedious to get through because at times you're just like, yo, is this movie taking itself serious or is it not? Like, you need to make up your mind because you can't do both. Like, you can't just be like, come off as goofy as shit in one moment and then try to be serious in the next moment. Like, you need to just pick and choose a side. I just wanted to highlight that real quick, but then also just to kind of segue into another and the final evil Santa movie, which is Krampus, right? So the last movie is, and one of the more modern ones is Krampus, which is the tale of, you know, some urban legend based in Europe somewhere about
Germany or something. Yeah,
Germany, that basically this evil Santa Claus comes down and kidnaps bad children and then takes them, throws them in a sack and takes them or whatever, right? And honestly, I rewatched this movie not too long ago, and I didn't realize like how comedic it is at points. Like only reason I actually went to go watch this movie is because we went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, right? And they had a maze of Krampus, and I'm just like, whatever. So we go watch it, and I had so much freaking fun in the maze. Like that maze was super fun. So I was like, you know what? I want to watch this movie now. So I went and watched the movie, and like, you know what? I actually had like a lot of fun watching it. It could come off as campy at times because the characters are kind of like goofy and like silly and shit, and some of the CGI is like okay, but again, like as in the design of the Krampus and how big he looked and how like he actually looked really intimidating, and the scenery of the movie too it was really good. So I had a lot of fun. That honestly is like that's a top 3 Christmas horror movie in itself, but that's a conversation for another day. What are your thoughts on Krampus?
Well, I only saw it when it came out, and it's about 3 or 4 years old now. So it's been a while. But what I remember is not being that interested in watching it. And I watched it, and I remember, I mean, it's not really, I think it's still a 12. Oh, well, we call it 12. It's not an R rated, is it? It's
Nah, it's PG-13 over here.
Yeah. And so that kind of put me off it anyway, because I'm like, it's supposed to be horror, it's going to be a kid's thing. But to be honest with you, there was some creepy moments in it when he was walking around on the seat, on the roof and all that. And the nan was quite good on it. She was explaining all this and she knew what was going on. When they went out and the whole world seemed like to be empty, or the whole town.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? So,
and the practical effects was pretty cool too.
I was going to say, yeah, the design as well looked really good. And yeah, it was well shot. It was well made. It had the mom was the woman from Hereditary in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few. Anyway, the thing is that it's vague, and I actually feel like I might actually watch it tonight because I'm in the for a Christmas mood. But it's been a while, and I can't remember it all. But what I do remember is not being interested and actually really enjoying it towards the end. It had some good moments, even for a PG-13, you know, and they did a good job. In fact, I can imagine that scaring the shit out of a lot of kids. So, yeah.
Definitely. See,
definitely good.
The kids these days are missing out on what we got, which is like watching practical effects. Like there's practical effects at least gives you the mind state that there's a possibility that this could actually have been real. You know what I'm saying? Like you watch Exorcist or whatever, you're like, dude, did that girl really just spin her head around in a circle? But when you have CGI, like that takes away that whole element of anything possibly being real. It takes away that realistic aspect of it. And that's the reason why I hate how these movies are flooded with CGI. But I mean, it's good that most of the movies that we mentioned today, even the newer ones, they all have like a lot of like actual practical effects in them, you know?
Yeah.
Even when we talked about Black Christmas, how they compensated maybe budgeting and they cut away from the kills, but they still made it pretty effective, like with the blood on the screen or whatever. So they did what they had.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they compensated for it, and they made sure that even though they might not have been able to see it, like show it, because either A, it was too gory, or B, maybe they didn't have the budget to actually get the prosthetics in for it, but they still made it an effective kill. And all of these movies share that in common. Like they're not too riddled with CGI. Yeah, I know that Krampus does have CGI in it, but it's not a lot of it, you know. And I also know that Christmas Bloody Christmas has CGI.
We don't see him much. It's more in the shadows towards the end, sort of thing as well. They kept him away. You see?
Yeah, but I don't think he was CGI. It was like the little gingerbread man were like CGI.
Oh yeah. I remember
the gingerbread man or CGI. Krampus was actually like, I think, a big ass animatronic, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I think, or it was somebody in a costume, like for sure, because that looked way too good to be CGI. Like that looked real, and that's what we're missing. Like we're missing that CGI. We're missing that practical. We're missing like that world building. Like the only thing I'm looking forward to about The Exorcist is that I heard that there's actual practical set building going on the film. So that leads me
on hold now or something.
Yeah, it went on hold. I think somebody got sick or something. That's the word around the campfire. But you know, that's one thing I'm holding out for. Like, okay, well, you know, but yeah, man, this was a fun little wrap about Christmas horror movies. Now, in the comment section down below, if you guys have a horror movie that we didn't mention, go ahead and drop it in the comment section down below. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us if you think that it deserved to be talked about today, or if it deserves to be watched by either me or Senor Del Boy. Or if you guys liked or hated any of the damn movies that we talked about. But I think we picked a pretty decent list. And I've mentioned briefly the Mean One and Christmas Evil and Silent Night, the remake. But, you know, there's tons of other remakes. There's tons of other Christmas movies. I know there's a billion Krampus movies that I'm not going to watch. Yeah, there's a lot, and I refuse to do it because they look freaking terrible. But yeah, so do me a favor, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, it helps it move in the algorithm. Make sure you head to Del Boy's channel, check out like all of his damn videos because the man works very hard. Make sure you like and subscribe to his channel as well. If you guys have anything to say about us, or anything to say about these movies, drop it in the comment section down below, whether it's negative or positive. We react to everything. We chop it up. We talk about everything. This channel is a community. We talk here. So let us know if we miss anything in the comment section down below, and you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. And make sure you head to this man's channel right here.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Merry mother freaking Christmas, you filthy animals. Adios.